What's up, boys? Today I have for you a Terran versus Zerg 3 Rex Reaper into a 5 Rex Reaper +1 build order. So we are going to quite literally be massing Reapers the entire game. Now to start things off, when your first SCV is about halfway constructed, you're going to send a worker to the low ground to start your low ground wall. This is very important, do not forget this. We're going to continue making workers, of course. And this is a 14 depot, of course, standard depot timing. We are going to get a barracks and then a gas, all at the standard timing. So we are going to get barracks and then gas. Now after you build the gas, or at 16 supply, we are going to rally another worker to the low ground to begin constructing our second barracks. And then you can rally this command center back on gas if you want. So second barracks, and then we are saturating our gas. Now at 19 supply, we are going to rally our worker to the Reaper jump up cliff to construct our third barracks. And the order is Reaper, Orbital, third barracks, second gas. So the SCVs that are building here, it's important to know where they go. The one that builds the first barracks is going to come to the high ground to build your second gas. And the one that builds the second barracks is going to come to the high ground to build a depot, your second depot. It is important to wall here in case of baneling bust, so make sure that you get this right. On some maps, you will have to put second depot here. That's alright. So you're going to see that we are going to go Reaper, Orbital, third barracks, and then this guy is coming up to build our second gas. We do have the perfect amount of resources for this. Want to make sure you get your gases on time, as Reapers cost gas. And then this guy is going to build second depot, and you can raise this depot to prevent Zerglings from coming in. Make sure you saturate your gas on time and keep building workers. So this guy is going to build a third depot, and then he is going to rally to the mineral patch and then to the natural to build your command center. Now of course this is versus a very easy AI. To show you the build order, just to make sure everything's on time, I have done this. So there is a worker cut at this point. When the command center is 15 out of 16 minerals here, you are going to cut workers for your command center, and you are going to not resume building workers until your eBay goes down. So you're going to get your eBay. Make sure that this is on time, because +1 is the entire point of this build. It should finish at 520. Around 520 you should get your +1. And this worker cut is important to get that, and to also make sure you don't get supply blocked before your command center finishes. So you are going to resume workers now, but make sure that you resume Reapers. I started up this Reaper before I started up workers. Reapers are more important than workers, so make sure that you get the worker cut correctly. You are going to build a fourth barracks here, and make sure you start at +1 as soon as you have the gas for it. Alright, now you are going to get a fifth barracks, and you are going to just keep producing Reapers out of there. Earlier was the only worker cut, there's no more worker cuts. You're going to get the orbital, and you're going to get both gases. And that's basically it for setting up your infrastructure. Once you got +1 on the way and you got your gases mining, that is basically it. And you want to keep producing Reapers and microing them. So make sure you get your depots on time. I got one over here. Let me actually go back to when this one goes down. So I got it down at approximately this supply around this time. Just don't want to get supply blocked. I put it over here just for vision basically. And you just want to constantly be producing one depot at a time. over here. Just keep producing depots. And that's basically it. So you can add 2 more barracks. There's no real transition out of this build order. You can also add a 3rd CC, but I don't recommend it. It's better to just add barracks. But when +1 finishes, this is really your timing. So +1 should finish at 520. So you're going to see that +1 finishes around now. And what you're going to have is 16 Reapers, if none of them die. And Reapers with +1, 3-shot a Zergling with a grenade. So you shoot the Zergling 3 times, and 1 Reaper grenade will kill the Zergling. So Reapers are disgusting versus Zergling with +1. So that is it for the build order, and then I will show you how to micro it. Okay, so here we are in the unit tester. I'm going to show you how to micro against Zergling and also against roaches. But before we start that, I'm going to talk about a little bit how the Reaper works, and also what you are going to be using your first Reaper for when you are playing this build order. So the Reaper actually has 2 shots. It deals 4 damage on its base, but it attacks twice. So with +1, it deals +2 damage actually, because of course it attacks twice. So when you are using your first Reaper, it's important to make sure that you're making both of the shots hit. If you stutter step too quickly, you can actually be dealing half damage and make only one of the shots hit. So make sure that you are not basically dealing half damage. And I would say you should only worry about this if you actually notice it in game. If you're not noticing it, then you don't have to worry about this. But if you find that your Reaper feels to not be dealing enough damage, then this is most likely why. Also, the Reaper can lose DPS when you throw your grenade. So make sure you throw it in between shots. Although that one is not very important, it's just good to know, because you want to make sure you have good knowledge of the Reaper before you literally start massing them. And that is how the Reaper works. Now, how to use the first Reaper. When you're playing this build order, the first Reaper is very important. If your opponent is playing pool first, you need to make sure that you find the Zerglings. So I like to go into the high ground and see if they kept the Zerglings at home. Believe it or not, they do it, and it usually means that they're doing some kind of roach cheese, maybe Ling Ravager, and they're waiting for speed, and they don't want to reveal it in case if you didn't scout. Most likely though, when they play pool first, they're going to be sending their Zerglings across the map, and you can send the Reaper back home to deal with that. You don't want to lose your depot, you just want to kill the Zerglings, and then you want to continue microing. You can also, with your first Reaper, scout the gas. You want to know how much gas they have. If they have a gas and they've already pulled out, you can see that they've already got speed on the way. And if they already have speed on the way, you need to be very careful, because Zerglings with speed can surround you and of course kill all of your Reapers. For a standard hatchery first, link speed finishes at 330. If you notice that they put 1 drone on gas, then that usually means that their link speed is going to finish slightly later at around 410, I believe, is the correct timing for Zergling speed to finish when they leave 1 drone on gas. And they do this in exchange for a faster 3rd hatchery, and that's good for you, of course. If they play gasless, it's a free win, so that's quite nice. So that's basically it for scouting. There are other things, of course, but I find that you just need to play this build order and kind of figure out what Zerg tends to do. Now, without further ado, I'll show you how to micro the Reaper. So of course the most important thing is how to micro against Zergling. So what you want to do is you want to basically you want to kite the Zergling, of course, and you want to throw a grenade in an area that will hit the Zergling. So as they're coming to you, you can throw it under the Zergling, but as you kite, you want to throw the grenade underneath your Reapers, right? To kite the Zergling. And of course you can kind of try to abuse the deselect and the AI to kill the Zergling. So once again, let me just create a whole bunch of Zergling. So this is a whole bunch of Zergling. Now, this is a lot of Zergling. So in a real game, if I see this and I have this many Reapers, I'm going to run to high ground. And especially because if I don't have +1, I'll definitely be scared. But high ground is very important. You want to abuse the Reaper jump up spots. So this is of course the unit tester map, but there is high ground here, it looks like, that I could run to. But there's not only high ground. There is a trick where you can use the mineral lines. So if I come into the mineral line here, there's limited surface area around the Reapers, so you can abuse the mineral line if you feel confident. And there's also sections like right here, for let's say, and what you can do is put the Reapers in here, and then the Zerglings will come and surround you from these angles. And you can basically fight here, and you grenade around the Reapers to where grenades do not hit the Reapers mostly, and they just hit the Zergling. And especially with +1, the Zerglings will all die, unless if you literally just do not have enough Reapers. But with 16 Reapers, you should be able to kill an insane amount of Zergling. So I'm just going to try my best to micro against these Zerglings. So they're coming. They kind of branched off, but that's alright. Just going to keep microing. And like I said, you can kind of come into the mineral line here and just keep throwing grenades. And you can even use the jump up spot, which I didn't do. Now of course all of these Zerglings just completely ran up, so I'm going to do this again actually. Let's try to use the attack key here. So we're going to grenade under them. It looks like they're all chasing me now. This is good. So just keep grenading, keep running away. Can abuse the mineral line, but versus this many Zerglings, I'm not sure how great it is because they can surround you and stuff. But you'll be kiting for a while, and then you can come to the high ground spot, and then they basically have to run away, or they can try to surround you, which, like I said, you can just grenade around, and you can basically kill all of the Zerglings. And of course, I traded really well here. It looks like there was one Zergling that was left over, so let's just kill that guy. And there we go. So it looks like I lost 2 Reapers up here. And of course these Reapers do have +1 to be clear. So that's what it would look like microing against Zerglings. I'm just going to show you really quick what it would look like if I'm going to give myself a couple more Reapers here. This is how many you should have realistically when +1 finishes. And I'm going to basically go up here into the spot I was talking about and just show you how disgusting the Reaper grenades are, even without any kind of kiting. So of course, if you kite, this trade will look better. So I'm just going to fight, and then I'm going to rapid fire the grenade all around my Reapers. Make sure you have rapid fire enabled, and of course, I'm going to actually lose this fight, but I almost killed all the Zerglings. And this is quite a lot of Zerglings, so make sure you only use it when you really need to. But it is definitely very notable. I'm pretty sure I actually can win. I don't think I grenaded very well, so I'm just going to try it again. Of course, it's a little bit weird because I'm in the unit tester. Oh, I'm lagging a bit. So I'm just going to fight here, and then I'm going to grenade all around, and then all around again. And see, this time it worked way better. And that just goes to show that if you're blowing up your grenades, it's going to be really hard to win the fight. But it definitely is very useful. This is very important to know. You need to make sure that you're abusing choke points and places where Zerglings cannot get very much surface area. And make sure you're using your grenades. And make sure you have rapid fire enabled for them. It's very important. Now, I think that's pretty much it for Zerglings. If there's Banelings, it's basically the same. Sometimes you need to target fire the Banelings, and you just need to be very careful. Because if they do surround you in a corner like this, you have to target the Banelings, otherwise you will quite literally lose all your units and the game. So, will look a little bit different versus Banelings, but basically the same. And Banelings are not very popular, to be clear. The more popular unit for Zerg to go for is the Roach. So for Roaches to trade efficiently versus Reapers, you need about a 1-to-1 ratio. So I have exactly 1-to-1 here, it looks like. Yep. So you need a 1-to-1 ratio, and you need Roach speed. Or no, that's not Roach speed. Roach speed. So for Zerg to trade efficiently, they need equal amount of roaches and roach speed. So if they get that, it's going to be kind of hard. You can think about it as Reaper's a snowball unit, and so are roaches. Roaches are also a snowball unit in this particular scenario, because the Zerg production with roaches is actually better than your 5-racks, even off of 2 base. So you do not want to allow them to snowball, basically, and the way you do that is by constantly microing. So you'll see the roach horn, or you'll see the roaches quite literally, and you'll need to basically kill them and try to snowball yourself, right? So what that'll look like is, what you want to do is you want to grenade the roaches, of course, and you want to try to bounce one roach away from the rest to where you can pick that roach off easily. So I'll try my best to show this here. So you want a grenade. Now these guys are pretty fast. But yeah, you want to kind of try to grenade, and I'm actually losing Reapers here, which just goes to show. But see, this roach is kind of isolated, so I got that one. That one was low HP, so I'm going to pick it off. And of course you can use the Reaper jump up spot, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to keep kiting, because a lot of the time they're going to chase you, and you don't really want them to get to your base, because you can't kite anymore. So as you can see, I managed to trade decently. There's only 2 roaches left. I lost 5 Reapers and killed 11 roaches, even when they had theoretically the correct amount of roaches to trade evenly. Or to trade better, actually, I should say. That's what Zerg wants. So that's how it would look, basically. I'm also going to just remove roach speed, because a lot of the time in your games, Zergs don't actually know that they need roach speed to trade efficiently. They don't know, it's just not absolutely clear to them. So a lot of the time they'll make bad decisions and just attack you without roach speed. And without roach speed, you can see the difference as clear as day. I can very easily pick off these roaches and make something happen. And as you can see, Reapers with +1 actually deal a lot of damage. So there I did some deselection micro. I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, this is basically how you want to do it. You can see that I am slowly picking off roaches just by grenading them away from the pack. Oh, lost a Reaper there. But yeah, this is basically what it looks like. I'm not actually going to kill all these guys, but that's what it would look like. And it's important to note that a lot of Zergs are not going to push you all the way across the map until they feel confident. And that's probably when they feel like they have way more roaches than you. So what it's going to look like is they're microing forward and they're microing back onto creep. Right? and they're just using these roaches to protect like their inject queen or their drones, or maybe they also have just like creep spreading queens, you could call them, that can be offensive as well. And they're just basically trying to defend while they mass up a good number of roaches to push across the map. And when you're microing against them, they're going to go forward and they're going to go back. And when they go back, that's a great time to get a grenade, to push one away from the pack and isolate it and murder it. So that's how you micro against roaches. Ravagers, if they go Ravagers, I don't think that it's actually good for them unless if they've already snowballed. So there's that. Ravagers do have more range, but they're actually weaker. I believe they have like 20 less life, something like that. I'm actually gonna check here. Where's the Ravager? Here it is. So yeah, they have 20 less, actually 25 less life, and they're not even armored. So they're basically made out of jelly, and you can kill them really easily. But they do have faster DPS and longer DPS, so, or longer range, I mean. So I guess that is important to keep in mind. Okay, so how to deselect Reapers. A lot of the time, there's going to be a Reaper that's weak, right? And you need to constantly be microing, constantly dealing DPS. And of course, Reapers heal out of combat. So what you do is you're microing, and then there's going to be some Reapers that are weak, right? You just click back and deselect them in the wireframe, and then they'll come back, and you can push the ones into the front. It's a lot easier to use the wireframe to pull back weak Reapers, and a lot of the time, if you're really good, you can just kind of select them on the battlefield, and try to pull them back that way. So like there'll be some, oops. So there'll be some weak Reapers, and you're battling, and then maybe you just select these ones and pull them back. You'll kind of figure it out as you go, but it's important to note that using the wireframe is very good. You just deselect these guys and keep microing. You can also abuse the Reaper jump up spot a lot. So you want to, let's say you're running away from Zerglings, you can like grenade the low ground and jump up, something like that. But what's more common is their base will be up here, on top of the jump up spot, and then you're jumping up into their main base, right? And they're going to surround you with Zerglings, or at least try to, right? So what you can do is you can jump up, you can grenade all the Zerglings, and then jump down, and then jump right back up. And that's a really good technique as well. But I am going to note that using the Reaper jump up spot in a real game actually takes a lot of time, because of course this is the unit tester, but there'll be their natural, and then there'll be their main base, right? And you'll have to run to their triangle third to jump up into the main base, usually, right? And it takes time to do that, and you're actually losing DPS. So don't actually use the Reaper jump up spot into the main unless if you're being chased, or there's a spine on the low ground. There's some reasons that you should use it, but for the most part, it's actually not worth it because you're losing DPS. So just keep microing in and out of the natural, keep trying to get good trades, and abuse the Reaper healing and the grenade. So that's basically it for how to micro the Reaper. I'm going to put the replay of the build order, and I'm going to put the replay of me beating Grandmaster Zerg players with this build, so you can go out on ladder and have fun destroying Zerg players with Mass Reapers. This build order does not work very well versus Protoss or Terran. I've tried it against both, it just doesn't work very well. This is really a Terran versus Zerg. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll absolutely answer them. And that's about it. So have a good one, you guys, and destroy some Zerg players. Bye bye.